During the Ice Age, the fresh kill you risked your life to bring down could be the very thing that killed you. Surviving it meant eating things that would turn your stomach inside out. And the longer the winter dragged on, the stranger the menu got. These are three of them. And the last one is something archaeologists still argue about. The obvious guess is meat. They hunted mammoths, horses, and reindeer, so surely they lived on huge slabs of it. But wild Ice Age animals carried almost no fat, especially by the end of winter, when their reserves were gone. And the human liver can only turn so much protein into energy. Live on nothing but lean meat for a few weeks, and you get sick, weak, and eventually die, no matter how much of it you eat. Arctic explorers who watched this happen centuries later called it rabbit starvation. Archaeologist Maria Lautinen's team at the University of Helsinki ran the numbers on 28 Ice Age prey animals in 2021. 27 of them would have given you more protein than your body could safely handle. The fat was the real prize. Ice Age hunters often kept it and threw the lean meat to their dogs because a pile of pure red meat was closer to poison than a feast. So the first crazy thing on the Ice Age menu was grease, squeezed straight out of bone. Crack open a fresh bone and there is marrow inside, soft and rich and loaded with fat. Ancient humans ate that first, but they also smashed the emptied bones into tiny fragments, dropped them into water, and heated it until a layer of fat floated up to the surface, ready to skim off. At a site called Neumark Nord in Germany, Neanderthals dragged the carcasses of at least 172 large animals, horses, deer, and now extinct wild cattle, to one spot beside a lake and processed them all for grease. The team who found it, led by archaeologist Lutz Kindler, called it a fat factory. None of that was quick. Smashing that many bones and keeping the fires going took days of hard, planned work. And what they got was pure fat they could store and carry. The site dates to around 125,000 years ago. Fat kept them alive. It let the body actually use the protein from all that meat without shutting down. But even with enough fat and enough protein, something was still missing. Meat carries almost none of the vitamins you normally get from fruit and vegetables. In the depth of an Ice Age winter, with the ground frozen for months, there were no fruit and vegetables. So ancient humans found them somewhere else. When a reindeer or a horse grazes, its stomach fills with a thick paste of half-digested grass, moss, and herbs. That paste is called chyme, and people ate it, straight from the kill. Explorers wrote down how Arctic peoples like the Inuit, the Cree, and the Blackfeet would open the stomach of an animal and eat the contents. Chris Stringer at the Natural History Museum says the Inuit treated it as a delicacy with a flavor and texture close to cream cheese. It was a way to eat plants secondhand, already broken down by the animal, when nothing green was growing for 100 miles. The same logic reached back into the Ice Age. Archaeologist John Speth has argued that Ice Age Neanderthals did the exact same thing. To them, the stomach was the salad course, sometimes eaten first, warm, before anything else. Fat and stomach mush could carry a group through a savage winter. But when even the animals ran out, the Ice Age forced a much darker choice. Around 14,700 years ago, a group of people sheltered in a cave in southwest England called Gough's Cave in Cheddar Gorge. When archaeologists examined the human bones scattered there, the picture was ugly. The bodies had been butchered in exactly the same way as the deer and horses eaten beside them. Long bones and ribs were cracked open for the marrow and grease. Finger bones carried the marks of being chewed to suck the fat out. Cut marks traced where flesh, tongues, and cheeks had been stripped away with stone tools. Sylvia Bello at the Natural History Museum calls the human tooth marks about the clearest proof of cannibalism you can get. The skulls, though, tell a stranger story. 3 of them had been cleaned, trimmed, and shaped with real care into cups. The lips and eyes were removed, the face and base of the skull taken off, and the top worked into a smooth bowl. One arm bone was even engraved with a deliberate zigzag pattern before it was cracked for marrow. Bellow's team argues this looks less like the panic of starving people and more like a ritual, careful and practiced and repeated across seasons. These Ice Age humans ate their dead, and they did it with the same skill and intention they brought to everything else they put in their mouths. That pull you feel toward fatty, greasy food, the crackling on pork, the marrow in a bone, is the same signal that carried your ancestors through 100,000 winters. For them, fat was the line between reaching spring and not reaching it. Your body still runs on that setting. The bone broth in the trendy cafe, the stock your grandmother simmered for a whole day. You got all of it from people who boiled grease out of stone-cold bones, ate the stomachs of the animals they killed, and, when there was nothing else left, would not even waste their own dead. Their hunger is still wired into yours. That's all for today. Subscribe if you want to learn more about your own history.